ask you to really take a little bit of time to explain to the people on the webinar, how you see the role of apprenticeships in that that mission to create the world-class finance function that we want.
So I've already talked about apprenticeships not just being for everybody, not just being for the young, and I think that is really important that that it is open to everybody and that it's levy funded. I think that the differences that apprenticeships make, and we'll go through what the apprenticeship looks like later on in this webinar, is that there's a lot of line manager involvement in this. Your line manager will have much more interest in you undertaking studies and give you a lot more support. That is really important. Line managers being engaged in the work that you're doing. We're very keen to continually refresh the pool of accountants within government. We have about 2,500 qualified accountants in government, and we normally have about 800 studying at any one time. And so bringing more people on and helping them to advance their careers and get the best out of their careers and out of their working lives, help them to meet their aspirations, I think this is really important. The qualification in the apprenticeship will just help you to open doors for your career, help you to move around the civil service. And we're really keen that we do break down those departmental barriers, encourage people to move around because their skills and talents can then be shared across government. So I think they're the main reasons for it. What we're doing within the government finance is we've set up something called the Student Zone, which is so that anybody who is in government finance taking an accounting qualification can register with our Student Zone. And through that, they can access a lot of learning material and join a virtual community of accountants working across government or trainees. This will give them a sense of community and a sense of support across government and make sure they've all got access to the same information, data and resources. And I think that by following an apprenticeship as well, people are all studying for similar qualifications at the same pace, at the same speed, at the same time, and can learn from each other, and the Student Zone will help to join that up. That also is really important, and for government we get a lot of consistency in that learning because they're all learning in the same way, so we don't have a rogue training provider coming in and training people up who might not necessarily be able to pass exams. And I think the other part of this is a much more holistic approach than a training provider just teaching you to get through a series of exams. This is helping you to be an all-rounded professional and really relating your studies to your job. So there's an awful lot in there for the apprentices and for government.
I think the Student Zone sounds really exciting, and I think the bit around learning as a cohort is something that we know is really important. There's now some good research on this about how much training, good training, evaporates so quickly because actually people are doing it on their own, and even if they're in the classroom with other people, for that moment they're with other people, but once they leave, they're on their own and the training evaporates. So the value of peer learning. I don't know if you just want to say a little bit about your experience and how to make the cohort kind of the extra trainer, the extra support.
So it's we are all certainly in the students we have in our ACCA qualification are generally time poor. We struggle for time, so we try not to put superfluous requests in to get information or to try and build a community. Students do it themselves, so we run live classes where students can talk to each other. They do it via a chat panel, and the amount of interaction, it's so much more engaging than a traditional classroom, because students value that little bit of anonymity, I think, within a virtual classroom, rather than having to put their hands up and speak in front of a large group of peers. But it's over the past 2 years since we launched our program, the amount of community support has been staggering, even to the stage where some students have started to delay sitting their next paper because they want to keep contact and keep pace with their cohort, with the people that they're studying with. And yes, we have got community forums within the program itself, but very often they'll just go and create their own communities, whether it be in LinkedIn or whether it be in Facebook. And it creates that togetherness.
So when is Student Zone going to go live? And as I say, it sounds absolutely brilliant.
It's live already. It's on site, which I hope that most of the people who've joined this webinar have registered with. But if you haven't, we can send out a link. If these slides are going out, we can make sure that there is a link so you can have a look at that. So it's already live. We're building on it all the time, so there's a lot of refresh content coming in there. It's fairly new, but what we'll be looking at is finding out ways of getting our students together at the same time. So and this will help to supplement, because I think the qualification gives an awful lot, and the way that the course is put together is really good. But there are certain areas that we can then supplement, and we can do that through a face-to-face conference of some sort.
Yeah.
Maybe a year in.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Really great.